Hi, this is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle, and we're going to have the opportunity to preview for you today some of the reels that came into my shop recently, those that I will be working on in the coming week, and those that I have planned as videos. So please stay tuned here. You'll see what I have. If you'd like them, best way to see them is to subscribe, and if you do subscribe, hit that notification button. You'll see when I'm posting those videos, and you'll have the opportunity to decide whether you want to watch them or not. So let's get started. The first one comes in from Frank, and Frank is in Missouri. Frank has sent me some reels before, and he's sending me two this time, three actually, I guess. He's sending me in two Mitchell 908s, which was, actually they should be Garcia 908s, Garcia Mitchells, yeah. The 908s, that's the follow-on version for the 308. And he's telling me he's got some problems with it. He said this one doesn't spool, I guess. Something's broken with it. Yeah, this one has the bail. And there's a second one in here that I understand has a broken bail. So we got Reels in the Bag project here. And I hope we can get done what we need to get done with these, because the unfortunate thing with these 908s is parts availability. Plenty of parts for the 308. 408s, all of the older ones, but this was the transition model. So what happened was Mitchell and Garcia kind of parted ways, and Garcia was the distributor in the US for the Mitchell reels. They got into financial trouble. They kind of parted ways. Mitchell got into financial trouble, went bankrupt, and I guess these were sort of a transition product in between there, so you don't find these as much. But we're going to take these apart, we'll service them and put them back together for Frank as best we can. Well, that's two that are in pieces. Well, Frank tells me he had this one in pieces. This is a Quantum, and this is an older style reel. I'm not quite sure which model it is. It may have even been repainted on the sides. It's kind of hard to see. But he tells me that he took it apart, put it back together again, and well, now it's just not spooling right. So sounds like something may have gotten lost in the process there. Not sure, but I guess we'll go check his work and see what's going on there. It is pretty tough or tight little turning going on there. I'm not sure what that's all about, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we've got the drag down pretty tight. You can see I'm holding the spool. Drag is tight, and well, it's just not connecting. Sometimes that's a matter of the pinion gear being mismounted. Sometimes it's a matter of the shaft being incorrect. I'm looking up here. I think I see the problem already. There are about 5 or 6 tension washers between the star adjuster and the handle shaft. All of those belong underneath, so it may just be as simple as those tension washers being mounted on the wrong side. Brings me to a point about reel repair. When you're doing your reel repair, please take pictures along the way. That'll tell you how the pieces and parts came out, and remind you when you get stuck how they go back together. The other thing you want to do, of course, if you're in this situation, you can't quite figure it out, go get this schematic for the reel. That'll show you the burst diagram where all the pieces and parts go, and I am certain that the burst diagram does not show those parts, those tension washers, on this side of that star adjuster. So word to everybody, please take pictures as you do your servicing, get the schematic, and well, you won't be sending them to me to try and figure out what's gone on there. So here's a package that came in from David. So we have one from Missouri. David is from New Hampshire. David has sent me a few reels in the past, and thank you for the repeat business. I appreciate that. And let's see what David is sending in today. This is good. I get to read on, catch up on what's going on in New Hampshire. And we have a box of reels here, so let's go through those. We have a Wright & McGill. So Wright & McGill, it's got the Skeeter Reese Victory Baitcast reel. Haven't worked on one of these, so we'll make sure that we make this a video. Good thing about it is it does have the schematic inside of it. The schematics are sometimes hard to find. And no message in there, so I'm not quite sure if these are just in for general servicing. I'm going to assume that. Seems to be a nice reel overall. I believe Wright & McGill is associated with Eagle Claw, or maybe the parent company of it. This one's made in China. It's got 10 ball bearings. I'm going to assume it's pretty much a straightforward design, but you know what they say about assuming. Don't do that. So we'll see if we can't service that one, make a video out of it, because I know I don't have a Wright and McGill video in my library. I'll work on putting that back together in a moment. So looks like David's got a host of different types. We have the Penn Squitter. This is in beautiful condition. The Penn Squitters have not been done for a while. This one's a little tight. I find that a lot of times, well, that bearing's pretty loose. This was the reel to have as a surf caster in the 1960s and 70s. It's been around longer than that, but the burgundy ones, I believe, are late 60s or 70s. There's a grind going on there. We're going to try and figure that one out. Nice thing about the Penn Squitter versus, say, the Surfmaster is the bearings. You have different bearings on the sides, and that whole line, so the Beachmaster 155, the Surfmaster 200, and then the Squitter 140, all kind of share a lot of the parts, and same gear ratios and the like. The differences are the take apart, single screw take apart, and the ball bearings, which up the game level a little bit there. This is kind of the bigger brother. This is the Penn Jigmaster. This is the 500, also around that same time. There's different side plates on the Jigmasters. They started out with a black side plate. They were actually an upgrade to the Surfmaster 250. They went to a higher gear ratio, and then of course over time they just kind of became a lot more popular than the 250, and they discontinued the 250, but they've kept the Jigmaster to this day. These are highly desirable. This one's in beautiful condition. The older ones made in the USA seem to outlast the ones that are made in China these days, and I've seen the difference in the parts, in the materials, as well as some of the failure points in them over time. This one will get serviced. There's plenty of Jigmasters out there on my site. And here we go. We got a 404. This is probably a Zebco, I'm assuming. Zebco 404. Just did the 202. This one will probably be double the fun, right? We'll do that 404. We'll see if we have time to do a video on that. And then I love working on these old ones. This is a Balsly Kalamazoo Tackle Company. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. There's a lot of fishing reel companies up in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I'm not sure if this one's associated or not with Shakespeare, but of course that was the home of Shakespeare and Derek Jeter. So there you go. This seems to be working nicely. We're going to guess that it probably has a good gear size because of that bump out there. It seems to spin nicely. This is a knuckle buster. There is no anti-reverse on it, so when you're casting, it is going to spin backwards. And if you don't watch it, you are going to get wrapped in the knuckles with that. So David, thank you for sending those in, and we'll make certain to get those serviced and back to you quickly. Let's see what's next up here. This one comes in from James Stewart out in Wyoming. So we're going all the way around the world with this one. Missouri, New Hampshire, Wyoming. That's one of the fun things with this channel. I get to meet people from not only across the country, but across the globe. So let's see if James is sending me in. We've got a ambassador, and this one has, let's see what this is. This is a relatively new one. This is the 5600 SX. And I don't remember the exact issue with this one. He bought it on eBay, was trying to set the brake, took it apart more than he should have. Pressed down the release button to cash. It makes a funny noise when retrieving. The old funny noise. If I was if I was an automobile mechanic, I could probably sympathize with that. There's a lot of funny noises that reels make. Not hearing it right now. We'll put it on a pole and we'll give it a test. So just a word on these. I see this a lot. Please, when you're spooling line, this is a little close to that ridge. You probably want to have less line on there That will make a difference in the ability to throw the reel, but also the line doesn't get trapped under the spool. You can see how dangerously close that line is to the gap in the spool, and it takes relatively nothing in terms of getting that line under there and wrapped. So we'll try and figure it out. Something didn't feel right on that auto trip. Yeah, there's something not going right with that auto trip. So we're going to take that apart completely. I have not worked on one of these. I believe this is a Chinese-made one. Yeah, it must be, because even the badge is just a printed-off badge. And it certainly doesn't say Made in Sweden on that badge. So I'm going to assume this is a Chinese one. We'll go ahead and do that one for James, and we'll do a video on that one if you're interested in seeing it. Well, this one just came knocking on my door. This one came from Jim. He's local to me here in New Jersey. He's been right in the middle of a very strong striped bass run. It's just broken out over this past week or two. He's been out there trolling, and he's got big trolling reels. He's got the 330 Penn GTI series, and he tells me he's had these reels for over 20 years. They haven't failed him, but it seems that his son got busy taking some of these apart, and just hasn't put them back together properly. And we decided we're going to go full scale on this due to the age. We're going to replace the drag washers in these. We'll give them a complete service, and we'll get them back to him in time to keep these things fishing for the run. So that's what's on the agenda. Those are the ones that have come in recently. And again, if you want to see these, please subscribe. If you have a question on any of these reels, please leave them in the comment section. If you want to see one in particular that I don't plan to do a video on, please let me know. If I have the time, I'll try and do the video. If I don't have the time, perhaps I have a duplicate or one close to it in my library, and I'll try to point you to that one. So, to all of our first responders and essential personnel, thank you for all it is that you've been doing during the pandemic to help keep us safe. To everybody, please stay safe, stay well, and stay watching. This is Dennis with Second Chance Tackle. Have a great day.